everyone. Are you still with me? I hope you are. I don't know what happened. We were going fine, and then it just kind of went crazy. So I hope you're still with me. But the lesson to learn here is the nurse always wins, right? That's what I tell my patients. That's what I tell my family. The nurse always wins, especially my cat. Just ask my cat. He knows the nurse always wins, okay? So thank you for hanging with me. Hey, we learned something, right? Just had to go back and reboot the camera, and I think we're okay. Learning. I'm learning, and I love learning, and I really appreciate you having patience with me as I learn this, because I really kind of love talking to you guys. So, all right, so where were we? We were talking about heart cards. I have to find a better way to do this, but in the meantime, this is what the cards look like. And on the back, like I said, there's just like match cards and or any kind of cards that you like to play with that are inspirational cards, angel cards, tarot cards. But these cards are really meant to help open doors and develop conversations when conversations are hard. And like I was saying, in my practice with oncology and cancer patients, sometimes they want to talk to you, or they just want to talk because you are the safe place, right? I've had many patients tell me that that we are in what they would call a sacred inner circle, that we understand their experience and their position a little bit different than even their families. I've actually had families that have come to me. I've been to a few funerals with people that I've really taken care of, and the nurses were very respectful, sat way in the back. We didn't want to interrupt anything, and I have had their families come all the way to the back to get us and bring us to the front row. And their comment to us was, "You guys have been in a sacred inner circle with us, and you really understand what we went through and what our family member went through, and we just really want to appreciate you." And so the thing that I've always said to my patients is, I want to be a safe place for you to have those conversations, right? There is no bad question. There is nothing that I won't talk about. I have talked about sex with cancer patients. I have talked about death and dying. I have talked about how people die. I have talked about hospice and pain medicine, and there is no question off the table with me, because I want someone in that position to have a safe place to answer something, to ask something that I don't think that they would always ask their family members or their doctor. Sometimes you're scared to ask the doctor, but the nurse is always a safe place to have conversations, and sometimes we will have conversations differently than others. So I tell you, I want to show you this. You'll get a kick out of it. This is actually my plastic bag. I used to carry this in my pocket with the cards as I was developing them, on the off chance that someone would say something about answering a question or opening a question, and I would say, "I would love to take this time with you, and I have this interesting new game way of opening the door to that conversation, and would you be interested in trying it?" And 9 out of 10 times they would say yes. So I would take the cards. There's quite a bit of them, as you can see. There's 36, but there's actually some extra zingers I put in there. I think I showed you one of the zingers here in a second. One of the zingers I like to put in there, and a zinger, let me explain to you what a zinger is. A zinger is an extra card I put in flashcards. I learned this when I was doing flashcards with my 8-year-old nephew. We were working on math flashcards during a vacation of all things, and I wanted him to kind of get excited about it, because who wants to do flashcards on a vacation, right? So we made our flashcards. We made them ourselves. We used colored cards. We colored them. We used markers, made all kinds of designs, and I would throw in these little zingers that said, "Bravo, I'm really excited for you," smiley face, hearts, because we would be going through the flashcards, and he'd kind of be like, "Oh, I hate this. This is horrible." And then he'd get a smiley face, and he'd like perk up and be like, "This is amazing. I really have fun." And he'd want to keep doing more until he got to the next zinger. So I actually do this with my students. When they work with me, I have them make flashcards. Yes, I give homework, and it's flashcards and learn your meds, okay? So, but in between, we're going to put zingers in there so that they get excited about it too. We'll put smiley faces. I'll put it, if they bring it to work and they are working with me on them, I actually, if they are out doing something, I will take a card and write a little message on them and sneak it into their pile so that when they do their cards, they get a nice little note from me just saying that I'm proud of them because I want them to do this. So here is a zinger card that I've put in the cards here. And it is really just bravo on taking that first step and moving forward on your question. Because opening a hard question is really hard, right? So we need to celebrate that you're doing this. You need to celebrate yourself, that you're being willing and brave and open to open a conversation. Doesn't matter what it is. Do I want that medicine? Do I want to go further? Do I want treatment? Should I tell my mother that she has cancer? It still surprises me that people have that conversation, but they do, and so I want to offer them a safe place. And it was hard at the beginning of my career to be the one to offer that safe place because I would be like, I don't know what to say with that question. All I can do is support you and say, okay, and listen. And honestly, a lot of times that's all they want. They don't want any magic wisdom coming from us. They just really want a place, because what I have discovered with these cards, and most of these cards come from the questions that people have asked in their conversation. I have found that when people ask questions and we just let them talk in a safe circle, that they come to the answers themselves. And so you don't have to have any magical wisdom to do this. I've used it for non-patients. I've used it for friends. I used it in a friend who was going through cancer treatment. I've actually used it with my nephew on some things. So the cards were born out of medical nursing conversation, but you can actually use them in any conversation where you feel like, I want to talk about this. I'm not sure how to approach it. I'm not even sure what questions to ask, or I don't even know what I want to know about this, but I feel like this is something I need to talk about. So I want to show you a little thing. So tonight we're going to pick a card. I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to think about a question that is on your mind. It can be medical, it can be professional, it can be family, it can be your own direction in life. It can be whatever the question is. So I just want you to take a minute. I'm just going to give you a minute to think about your question. Close your eyes and just take a deep breath, and you will know that question because it's going to be burning in there. So we're going to take a minute. I want you to listen to your soul and your brain and your spirit, and I want you to think about that question, okay? So we are just going to be quiet for a minute. I'm going to time it on the clock. Just going to be quiet. Think about your question. Okay. Do you have the question in your mind? Don't say it out loud yet, because we're not there yet. So I'm going to take the cards and we are going to shuffle them. I am not a Vegas card person, so I like paying 52 pickup, mostly in my house. But we are going to shuffle the cards. And I want to tell you that if you purchase the game, Heart Talk, there is actually a bingo card that I made with like 24 ways to play this game. You can just pick one off the top, You can shuffle them, spread them out like a deck, and have someone pick one. You can lay them out in cards. You can cut them up, or you can do what Wally, my cat, did one night when I was working on these and testing them for myself. He came on my desk and literally shuffled them all over my desk. It was all over. But I thought, that's kind of a fun way, actually. So I included that in the bingo game. So I want you to have fun with it, because I want you to just relax and think about your question. And I don't want you to come up with the answer. I just want you to think about where that question is going to take you. And we are just going to shuffle. And I think for tonight, I'm just going to pick a card from the top of the deck. So, are you ready? You have your question? Oh, that one fell out. And the nice thing also about the heart cards is there are 36 questions in them, but I also have a number of blanks that have the card on the hearts on the front, but they're blank in the back, so that you can add your own questions. You can color them, you can print them in black and white, you can color them with your own colors. They don't all have to be red. You can make colors in them. You can also put your own questions on them. So, and then when you shuffle them, you will discover whether that question you wrote is the question that you need to answer tonight. I really believe that sometimes when we are stuck in a question, sometimes our brains want data, right? We want to be able to analyze and understand, what does that word mean? What does that statistic mean? What does 4% survival mean? What does 70% survival mean? What does that mean? Sometimes it means 30% don't survive, right? 6% don't survive. It's really about what question you want to know. And so our hearts want data. We want numbers, we want definitions, we want explanations, so that we can understand, so that then we can make an opinion or a judgment or a decision, right? But our hearts want connection. Our hearts want spirit. Our hearts want to know that this is the right question, this is the right thing for me, and my body feels it, right? Your body feels when you know you've come the right thing. When you do something, when you walk into a room and you know it's not the right person, or it's not the right class, or it's not the right job even for you, or this physician is not jiving with you, you know that, right? In your spirit, you know that in your heart, and you know that in your body. Even though technically in your head, you may know that you may have an idea that this is the right specialist for you. But your heart is saying, I don't really know about this, right? So this is meant to go past the data and our heads and listen to our spirit. Your body will know, right? Your stomach will know. Your heart will know. You will have answers. You will have peace. You will have understanding. And I've had patients that have answered the question in one question. Doesn't mean you only have to take one card and do it. Oh, it's upside down. You don't just have to do one card and think you're going to come to the question, to the answer. Sometimes I've had people take 4 or 5 cards because it's going down a path. Sometimes I actually had one friend who laid out all the cards in a deck, like the match game. Remember match game, where you match ducks and piglets and dogs and kittens and birds? She laid them all out on the table with the heart up so we couldn't see the question. And I literally just encouraged her just to pick a card. Just listen to your universe, close your eyes, just pick a card, and that will be the card the universe wants you to discuss or answer right now. And she actually took the top left card, answered that, and went all the way through the rows. There were probably about 4 or 5 rows. I don't necessarily recommend that. I think that's really hardcore, and you have to be really hardcore, probably some chocolate next to you and some wine next to you to answer 36 questions in one session. Holy cow. I don't recommend that. She was so brave in doing that. So brave. And there was so much conversation and tears and laughter. And at the end, though, she discovered the answer to her question. So just follow your own guidance, okay? So we're going to mix it one more time. And I'm going to pick the card on the top, okay? So you have your question. Just think about the question. There's no right or wrong, right? No right or wrong. Just the question that speaks to you right now. All right, we're going to take the top card. And let's make sure I have it. And I have two. Oh, I have two. We're going to take the top card. Okay, and I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to show you the card. So this card says, can you read it? If you woke up 6 months from now and said to yourself, I am satisfied and happy with my decision, what would that decision be? Think about it for a second. You don't have to come up with an instant answer, but you know the answer, right? If you woke up 6 months from now and said to yourself, I am satisfied and happy with my decision, what would it be? So think about that for a second. The other thing that's in the heart cards is some journal pages. I like it because on one side is you can write the question that you picked. On the other side, just make some doodles or notes so you can kind of keep track of what question you had and what your answer was. Then you can keep track of them so that you kind of follow that journey of your question. So thank you for, I'm going to end here because I just want you to spend time with your question, okay? So think about your question. Think about this question. We'll do some more questions as time goes on. I'm going to show you the cards a little bit more. Maybe try a different way of doing it. This on the bingo game and the journal page, and I'll show you how it works. But in the meantime, just sit with that for a minute. Just sit with yourself for a second. Remember, there's no right or wrong. There's just what is your body and your spirit telling you. And listen to the question again. I'll say it one more time before we end. And I'll show it to you again. If you woke up 6 months from now and said to yourself, I am satisfied and happy with my decision, what would it be? And remember, at the bottom it says, the answer lies in you. It's your question, your journey. We are all just here to support you. Okay, so thank you for being here with me. Thank you for playing Heart Talk with me. We'll do it again soon. And if you have answered and you have any feedback or you come to an answer about your question, you don't have to tell me the exact answer, but I would love to know if you found it helpful. So stay with me. We're going to be doing it more and more and more on this channel. And I wish you a very peaceful night. I wish you peace with your answer and with your journey in front of you. Take good care of each other. Bye-bye.